Hi guys, this is Jessica Reed, and I'm here to share with you my lesson plan and my different things that I did with my class for this activity. Here's my lesson plan. We kind of did a couple of different things. My class has been studying character traits, and so my thought process was we were in the middle, or actually towards the end of October, and I love the movie Hocus Pocus. And so we decided to watch Hocus Pocus, but when we were going to do it, we were going to do a character autopsy. So here, as you can see, here's my standards. I had some reading, literacy, writing, and speaking, listening, and language. And of course, you have your IST standards. The objective really of my lesson was for them to be able to identify a character from the story and then be able to figure out how the character's actions play into the story. So they basically watch the movie as we're discussing it throughout the couple of days. It's about a 6-day process. And then they come up with character traits to describe the character, very similar to how you would think Law and Order with the body. As we're going through, I'll kind of show you some stuff. Here are some of the questions that we talked about. The assessment is they're actually going to create an autopsy report based on the 5 different parts per body. I'm going to share you with actually some of my different things. We use some of the tools we use were Flipgrid, Google Classroom, Google Docs, Padlet, YouTube, and Vocabulary. Vocabulary was a great tool to discuss, to review what a character is. If you've never had a chance to use Vocabulary, it's got some very, very catchy tunes that the kids really, really get into. We used YouTube, as you can see, to watch Hocus Pocus. A lot of times we would watch clips just to remind us of the different characters and things as we were discussing. We watched the movie over about a 2.5-day period for about 30 minutes a piece. My classes last about 45 to 50 minutes after their warm ups and the closing. We would also use Padlet. This is just an example of Padlet my kids used. I love The Simpsons. And so I just described one of the characters. This was a morning warm up. They came in and did. They logged on to Google Classroom and then did this. And as you can see, I have Billy Quiet. I don't know. One of my kids' name is M. She just said crazy, and I'm not sure who she was. And Winnie would be scary. This is just my dashboard of my Padlet. As you can see, I've got 3 going. As you can also tell, my kids also use Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a really cool response. I'm not going to share with you the way my kids did their stuff, but it was really neat to be able to see them to react. You can record, and then they're able to kind of respond back and forth to each other, which is really, really cool. And the kids did this when they completed their autopsies. They would share it verbally through the Flipgrid with each other, and then they had to respond for it. Here's just some examples of the graphic organizers we used. This was the graphic organizer the kids would use via Google Docs. They had to make a prediction and then just describe the character traits. And we had previously talked about the different plot elements and some character traits that they were aware of. Here's her autopsy. It looks like a gingerbread man, but it's actually the character. And they were able to decorate and dress the character and then use 5 different parts, which we'll talk about in just a second. And then this was their rubric that they had for their lovely assignment for their autopsy. As you can see, it's 4, 3, 2, 1. And they would get a total of about out of 16. No, I'm sorry, out of 12. And it was for a test grade. So this was all kind of one big thing together. I also had, this is my lesson plan, as I mentioned before. This was our information for their body. This was the different things that they were specifically looking for. Such as we had a little bit of different things. They were peeling back the layers. They had to draw the character chart. What does the character love? What drives, motivates him or her? It was really neat to see some of Winnie. When they talked about Winnie Sanford, we did do one together as a class. We did do Winnie. But I had several classes doing this activity. This particular one, we did Winnie as a class. So we did the I do, you do, we do, or we do, I do, you do activity. strategy. You draw the character's eyes with the character's perspective of the world, write on your character's hands, fill in the area of the brain the thoughts are drained, and then describe your character's feet according to where they're in the text. I had several students who responded by sharing where they ended up. We also have, I'm going to share with you some of my pictures and actual results for my kids. This is when my kids decided to do Thackeray Binks as a cat, and they did a really, really good job. But here's Thackeray, and as you can see, here's the heart. Just some more information. It's really, really cool. And I have another student who is very, very quiet, but he did a great job. He's very, very below grade level, but as you can see, he has his character Max, and he's got the eyes, the heart, and the hand. And these are all the different other characters in the story. I have one who just did a fantastic job drawing. So this was a really cool way for those kids that are not able to like really express themselves. They were able to do that. He drew Thackeray Binks as he was when he was a kid. Overall, this lesson was really, really great. I enjoyed it. I do think there's some things that I could improve upon. Better incorporation of my things, coming up with better morning work than just what do you think of the movie so far. This is my Google Classroom, having my kids act and share. I would like for some more discussion for the next time. I do think I shared in my response in my lesson plan, I would like to try to use Adobe Spark somehow. Maybe even have the kids try to do an Adobe Spark. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy learning all about my Hocus Pocus activity. It's a really, really great activity. Thanks so much.